I'll give two very simple methods for understanding the two tank problem. Which one will empty first? It is extremely simple. Only some basic logics are required. One method is pure common sense, what I've done. And the second method involves a little calculation. Let us consider two simple tanks, T1 and T2, at different heights. This is T1 at a higher level. Now I'll write a T2 slightly lower level. They are having same volume, same kind of taps attached with the same kind of pipes. It's very obvious that identical two tanks with height h1 and then h2, where h2 is greater than h1, definitely we can say that h2 will empty first. The tank at the higher level will empty first. It's a very simple logic, and that we will apply now to the two tanks. One tank is like this. Of course, I am showing a pipe, a lengthier one, but actually that length is 0. Directly the tap is attached to the tank in the problem given. Similarly, another Y, I still am writing the little pipe, but the tap is almost attached to the bottom of the tank itself. This is tank Y. Now think of what is called a center of gravity of tank X. That is, whole mass appears to be concentrated for calculation. Center of gravity of Y. So simple. The trapezoidal section, or actually it is frustum of a cone section. Very easily we can see that Hy is less than Hx. Therefore, obviously, with this simple common sense, the tank X will empty first. Very simple. Now, second method where a bit of calculation is involved. Again, I'll write a pipe, but the length of the pipe is 0. The tap is there. Now we will divide the tank into different parts at different heights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. We'll do 5 parts for calculation purposes. So we are dividing it into 5 parts. Assume these to be of equal heights, h1, h2, h3, h4, h5. It is not at the top, it is at the center of gravity levels, like that, not at the top level, etc. All are center of gravity levels of each small portion. For convenience, we will assume h1 equals 1, h2 equals 2, h3 equals 3 later on. Time required for flow is quantity of water divided by velocity of flow. It's a very simple equation. Q by V is the time required for flow, or velocity is equal to Q by time. This velocity is proportional to square root of the height. Here h1 is 1, h2 is 2, because the pipe length is 0, tap is attached to the tank itself. So now we will calculate the different velocities. V1 is proportional to root h1. K into, K is a constant, root h1. That constant depends upon so many factors like friction, pipe die, etc. Let's not worry, it is constant. V2 is K into H2 and so on. The quantities of water for each portion, as we have divided, I am writing a small diagram once again just to make you to remember what we did, that is T1, T2, etc. Actually T5 we will take that, T4, T3, T2, T1, that is T2, and there is T1. The quantities we'll calculate later. T1 of course, as we know, is Q by V1 and so on. Let Q quantity be Q1 be 10 liters because it is at the bottommost portion. Q2 is bigger, 20 liters. Q3 is still larger, 30 liters and so on. Q4 is 40, Q5 is 50 because of the conical diverging shape of the tank. Then we will calculate or assume height H1 to be 1 unit, pipe length is 0, tap is attached to the tank bottom, H2 is 2 units and so on. Can be in meters or whatever it is. Now we know the method of calculating velocities or inversely the time. T equals Q1, that is K I am not taking because it is constant, Q1 divided by K root H. We will finally take off that K itself, constant for both the tanks, 10 by root 1, 10 seconds. Likewise, I'll calculate T1 equals 10 by root 1, T2 little higher level 20 by root 2, H is 2 there, T3 30 by root 3 because it is root of the height, T4 equals 40 by root 4 which is 2, T5 equals 50 by root 5. Total is of course the sum of T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 plus T5. Of course, simplification involves like this. Totally it comes to 84 seconds. 10 by root 1, 20 by root 2, 30 by root 3, etc. 83 point something, let's take it as 84 seconds. Now comes the second tank, Y, in this shape, same volume. We will divide this also into 5 parts. From center of gravity, 5 parts. Again the quantities are same, topmost is 10 and height is 5. T1 is topmost, 10 by root 5, 20 by root 4, 30 by root 5, 40 is still below, root 2, 50 is the bottommost volume, 50 by root 1. Look at this, this is the thing, logic that we have to understand. Larger volume is at a lower level in the second tank, therefore it takes more time. On simplification, we can easily see that it takes 110 seconds. And therefore,